Hey, my name is Georg Barber, but I work as a pseudonym Atak, and the name is from a band, a punk band, what I had in the 80s. And Atak, yeah, yeah. And we made a music like atonal, like noise punk music. And with a wall was broken in Germany, I took the name Atak for graffiti and street art, and now it's like I work with the name Atak. And yeah, and tonight I will show here at Marseille the work of the folk art from the Indonesia people, the wayang puppets. It's more Golic and Kulit. And I made a book for Louis Vuitton, a travel book. This about my travel to Indonesia. It's okay, super. And then I had a feeling I collect in this when I work on this project, and I needed inspiration, and I collect from some collectors in Germany the puppets, and I have a huge collection, and I was thinking I'm not finished with the work. And then I started to make a silk print book for here for Paquito, for Denecry, and this is the reason that we make here the show. Normally I make also children books, for French publishing house and for German publishing house, what I like. But also this is the reason why I make the book here with Paquito, that I can have more freedom and I can show some maybe erotic focus on erotic stuff. But for me, I don't think so that it's a border between adults and kids. It's only that you don't show sex for the kids. For me, it's more the most influence is the music. I am a big fan of Beastie Boys, and the idea from the hip hop in the beginning that you take some parts and you make a mix. It's kind what I use for my illustration way, and this is like a collage, and I'm a big fan of so many stuff, and it change every week. And I'm really a fan, like a fan art, and I take it and I mix it, and it will be a new thing. So that it's. But of course, from the history and also from the time it's a very big connection, and maybe this is also the relation to Le Denecry. It's the 90s with Gary Penter, American artist, so that it's to show that punk is possible also in the comic scene. So that is the big influence of me. My father was an art teacher and my mother was an artist, textile artist. And it was really, when I was 10, it was clear for me to make illustration. It was kind of freedom to listen music at home, to make drawing and to make some literature adaptation. But it was not possible in East German, and then after the war was broken, I make a study, but I never finished this, and then I start to make punk fanzine and stuff like this, and then later, and now it's I'm a professor for illustration on an art school, and I have a lot of freedom to make what I want. But it was really in the early, when I was 10 years old, it was clear I want this. It was not searching what I want. I was thinking this is my way to listen music, to be at home, and to create a world for everybody. And I'm very happy about this. I was really interested in comics, but there was no comic scene in East German. So And I was also interested in the punk scene. It's depend from the generation. I listen a lot of music, and when the wall was broken, so it was like a freedom. So we made the first comic punk fan scene in East Germany, and then I had a group, and from the group I was more going to make alone the work with the name Atak. But the influence is more, it's not the visual influence because we don't have not so many visual images because was no books anymore. It was not so many comics was not possible to have it, but we went to the Culture Institute from Mauvais in East Germany. They had one place there, and we went to go there, and we looked at new books, and so it was a big influence of me. And then we was influenced after the wall was broken with a magazine like Raw magazine in New York and stuff like this. But for me, the important things on my background from East Germany is that to take the freedom. So as an artist, so before in East Germany you had no freedom. It was for me impossible to make an exhibition in Paris or here in Marseille. That was like a dream. It was not. And the power after the wall was broken I can make everything, and it's not depend from the money. So it's more to make something, and it was a big. Wie sagt man, in the background from East Germany, that the money is not so important, but the freedom is much more important. It was a lot of freedom and it was no clear what is the system. It was the social government was gone and the capitalism government was not there, so it was a lot of freedom. We had a techno music, we had a connection to the theater, to the art, and it was a lot of movement. And in this time we made like stencils, pochoir, in the street in the night. So that was also the houses was gray. They had no color, so it was way also to show the art to everybody. So it was the word street art was not existent in this time, but we made it. And from this, I think it's for me kind of a statement when I make illustration. In the beginning, it was more like a fight, and now is it more the last work what I made is more still life, and it's more for everybody can. And come into my work. It's not a border, so it's also a political statement. When I grew up in East Germany with a wall, it was not possible to make your own work. It was not possible to print books or stuff like this. It was you had the government, you had to show the stuff, and so there was no freedom. And this was the reason after the wall was broken, I'm absolute free. I can make books, and it's for me one life and the second life.
I don't speak English. En un barrio de Berlín, en un kindergartenos con chicos que tango a lot of cocaine and drugs and sniffing glue, and he was on the border of the skate park, and I said to him, stop to use this plastic bag.
And it was so helpful for me.
It's already published.
The good thing on this guy,
Sex and Demons.
Sex and Demons was the work title. And the good thing on the work of this crazy publisher and printer is that you make drawing, you give him, and then it's a deal with the devil. You don't know what's happened after this.
You know.
But he was. I'm very satisfied with the final project. But what I like is that it's normally when I work I have a contract
No
and
contract with
it's
the devil.
only we have only emails. Yes, no, tomorrow, okay. It's work in one way.
Make graphics great again. Make
Marcel great
Marseille
again.
great down. Marseille falling down. Oh, too late.